All right. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, those who have tuned in. We're about to get this thing popping. So we have a guest today on the show. Her name is the casting diva, aka Yolanda Hunt. So we're going to talk to her about a new movie that she's working on. New movie that she's working on. She is working on this movie called One Night in Miami. It was directed. It was directed by Regina King. It's a really exciting movie, all black cast, black director, black writer. It was directed by Regina King. But a little bit about what I have going on coming up from now and then. The website is being built, as I stated previously. It's a lot of work because I keep asking for more and more stuff. So believe me, it's really going to be worth it. It's really going to be a good website. It's going to be interactive. Everybody's going to love it. My merchandise is getting done up now, so we're definitely going to have some merchandise, t-shirts, hats, some dope sweatshirts. Sweatshirts is off the chain. Wait till y'all see that. So y'all really going to dig this. So we got a lot of things coming up. Also, we got some good events coming up on the site. Working on something with my man All Lyrics. He is we got a plan in place. All right, so I just want everybody to join in, and we're about to get this thing popping right now. And here goes the lady of the hour, the boss, Miss Yolanda Hunt, aka Casting Diva. Hey, what's up? What's up?
Phone.
Yeah, I can't see for shit now, so you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Gotta
look,
put on
I already got
glasses.
mine ready. So just
So look, I want to start off. Look, I'm proud as fuck of you. For real. I'm so fucking proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I remember our days when down on the sets we were just running around Hollywood, young as fuck, didn't know what the fuck we was doing.
word.
You know what I'm saying? Just making our way. So I definitely want to thank you for taking your time being on the show. And yo, we want to dedicate the show to your mom because I know it's her birthday the other day,
Thank
right?
you. Yes. Oh,
So
that's so nice of you. Thank you.
no
It's
doubt.
my
So shout
kid.
out to your mama. You know what I'm saying? We gotta throw a we gotta do something nice for her. So I'm gonna send her something once my merchandise come out. I'm gonna get her some hats and whatnot so she can
I
look
would
real
love
hood. You know
that.
what I'm saying?
She
And
would
be
love that.
G'd up.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. She would wear it proudly. Definitely.
Exactly. So this new movie y'all got going on, One Night in Miami. It was written by Kent Powers. He was also wrote for the Disney Pixar movie Soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's starring Kingsley Ben-Adir as Malcolm X, Eli Gore as Muhammad Ali, Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke, and Aldous Hodge. I like him
Jim Brown.
from the show Leverage. He played
Yes.
the role of Jim Brown. And
Yes.
of course, it was directed by Regina King. She went to the Marla Gibbs School of Longevity. She's just
Yes.
she been in this
Yes.
business like forget about it. So One Night in Miami is basically like a story about four men that taking different roads to racial equality, and it symbolized the inner battle within men. And I really like this movie because it's actually a battle that all men have within themselves, and how we actually go to, things that go through our mind. We're thinking about how am I going to attack this problem.
Right. I,
So, first of all, tell us how the whole casting thing goes. So a script is written. Kim Powers wrote the script.
yes.
It's getting picked up by a movie, by a big movie company. And this is where you come in. What is it that you do?
Well, Snoop was the production company. They're a husband and wife team out of
Okay.
and they have produced a lot of projects like Little Monsters with like Matt. I mean, like they have so many like so many movies you wouldn't even realize that they've done. They did the Blair Witch Project. Kim Harden cast that. Like
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I mean, they've got like an array of projects that they produced. And Kim Harden called me and was like, I'm doing Your Best Friends movie. So I was like, no brainer. You know, I post. So she was like, well, it's in LA. I was like, I'll see you in LA in 2 weeks. And I was out there in 2019 from July to the end of October.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
And
you're not out here no more.
no. I live on the East Coast. I've been living on the East Coast for 16 years now.
Oh, you done left us. You done went for the snow and everything.
I sure did. I sure
Oh,
did,
okay.
y'all.
I hear that.
So
So,
that was like when I got out there, you know, I hit the ground running. And with Regina, she wanted a lot of authentic acting. She wanted it to be, you know, as close to the character, the body type that we could go. So we did it all. I mean, I literally had a worldwide search. I viewed over 1,500 self-tapes on that project.
so how do you get these takes? Because I'm trying to like really picture like how does this whole thing go?
Okay, well, the process, you know, I set out the breakdown, and you know, we get the, you know, we do, you know, our process, our in-house process with our
Uh-huh.
producers and our directors, and we, you know, we give up the names, you know, that we want to throw out there that we really think that are great ideas to set the platform. And when you are reaching, and they give you such a wide range to be able to do that and not have to be, you know, just agent, manager, you know, union actor, it was like, oh, this is what we rarely get to do. So
Right.
we put it out on Backstage. I did the UK acting I put it on the UK on the
Okay.
like breakdowns. I did Australia as well for their breakdowns. I went worldwide on this.
No, that's gangster. That's gangster. That's so I'm sitting there like, how did y'all come together with this? It was so like the
Well,
characters were so
the whole
real.
team, like it was just me. I worked with Christian Bustamante, which is an amazing casting associate out of LA. I mean, he's worked on the Star Wars series. Like he's really an amazing guy. And working with him and Kim, I mean, it was just the team. We bounced off of each other. You know, he had to, you know, pick up, you know, doing with agents and managers, and I just did all of the self tapes. I would sit there and view all the self tapes and get all my notes, and I vetted all of those. So they went through my process, and then they went to Kim, and then if they made that cut, then they went to Regina and the producers, and they got to come back, and that's how we did it.
Now that's amazing. Now, you know, when we was coming up, everybody wanted to be in front of the camera. I think me and you, in all honesty, were like there were very few of us that wanted to be behind the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I never wanted to be in front of the camera. Like all of my friends are in front of the camera.
Right, exactly.
Yes. But I just love the fact, like I felt like I got more energy from being behind the scenes and the creative aspect of it. Like I love the creative end of it. And, you know, as my career has progressed, you know, I've been in this for, 25 plus years.
Ooh.
So yeah. My first job was Poetic Justice, and that was the first time me and Regina ever worked together, and we blossomed and became friends from there. So we have worked on a lot of firsts together. Her first lead movie, her first MOW she directed, now her first directorial debut. It's like we've been a part of each other's process and growth and levels in different ways, and it's been great. I love casting. I mean, I wouldn't have, chosen.
So what made you get into it? Like, how did you get into it? What was that hook for you?
This is the funny thing. I went to college for fashion design. So
me too.
Yeah, I went to college for fashion design, and I graduated, and 6 months later, I get this phone call, and a lot of people don't know that Robbie Reed is my cousin.
Oh, okay.
She's the head of casting, VP of head of casting over at BET Networks. And she was doing this video called Remember the Times by Michael Jackson. And she was like, come and audition. And Fatima Robinson was choreographer.
I know Fatima, yes.
And I was like, well, that's my girl, yeah, I'm gonna come. And so, I had never been on a dance audition. Dance auditions are a total different beast. If you don't learn those 10 steps in, 1 minute, you're like, so that was me. They were doing the twirl. They were all right here. I'm still twirling around. So it was like, okay, I don't think this is really for me, but you need help. So I ended up staying and helping them during the casting process. And back then, you know, we used Polaroids and these little things called fact sheets. So everybody had to fill them out. So I had to take the Polaroid and put it together and have their sizes and all that. And it just, I got kind of bit then. And then after that video, 2 weeks later, Robbie got Poetic Justice. And she was like, do you want to be an intern? And I was like, yeah, no brainer. Like now I've kind of got a little taste of it. I want a little bit more. I want to, you know, be educated on it.
Right.
And she gave me that opportunity. I interned for a week and they ended up hiring me as the assistant. So that was like my first job I actually got hired on. And
That's
John Singleton, RIP my brother.
Yes. I worked with him before on Higher Learning. Really,
I mean,
really,
he gave me both
really
of my
amazing
opportunities because he directed the Remember the Times video.
Oh, okay.
Directed Poetic Justice. And when we were done with the casting process, you know, I was still kind of, you know, very green. So I didn't really, he was like, I'm going to give you the opportunity to really learn how a movie is shot. So that's when I became Regina King's, I was her stand-in on that movie. And not very people know that.
Now you want to hear something funny? I was Omar Epps stand-in on Mod Squad. But here's what made it funny. Yeah, we were shooting out in Aqua Dulce in the summer. It was hot. And they had to put like makeup on me, like black makeup. Y'all almost passed out because the fucking sun was so hot.
Okay, so now you know. Okay, me and Regina, we're not the same, but we're close. We're good in height. So John just, you know, he overlooked that. So he was just like, you know what? We got good lighting. I have the great DP. I'll let you be her stand-in. Because we're like the same height. She's only like maybe an inch taller than me.
Right.
And so we got on that set, and like I said, our relationship flourished. But that's when I really got bit, because I got to see how grips do it and how lighting is and how the DPs are and how, you know, the script supervisor is and wardrobe and makeup and hair and all of that. And it was just like, I like all of this. I love how the process is going, but I love to be the beginning process. That pre-production, that casting, I got bit. And after that, I just was getting projects, and I realized that I had a niche. And I think that the casting directors I was working for as well, they realized that you know, I can really capture talent. Like I have that eye. Not everybody has that eye for the talent.
Right.
I mean, I can tell when the first, you know, 5 or 6 words that you spit out, if I'm, you know, if you got it or not. Like if I'm going to call back or not. Like I've got it down to a science.
That's dope. Shout out to Regina King. I seen she came up here. My man Ricky Rude, my cousin Spiffy. So tell us about your life growing up. Where did you grow up at? Where you from?
I'm originally, I was born in Yonkers, New York.
You from New York?
Yes.
I never knew you was from, all the time I knew you, I never knew you was from Yonkers.
I'm originally born in New York, in Yonkers. My parents moved to New Rochelle, and my dad worked for the airlines. So he was from the airlines, so he got transferred to Northern California. So I lived in San Jose for a few years, but I grew up in Garden Grove, Orange County, California.
Got you. All right, cool.
Like I used to surf and all that.
Yonkers and you're surfing.
Yes.
I would have never put that together.
Nobody would have ever thought that. But I definitely, it's like I'm cultured. 2 spectrums. I'm cultured, but that's where I grew up. I grew up in OC.
Now that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now I remember our early days in Hollywood, and I remember I used to have, because I didn't have a car then, I used to have to wait for you to take me to get something to eat.
Yes.
Now, very important question. Do you still have that car with all the shit in it? Because I used to have to sit in your car. You had ballroom clothes. You had ballroom clothes. You had
working for Ralph Farquhar. That was the life of working for Ralph Farquhar. Literally, that man never slept. I had to literally live out of my car. Literally. It was like, we would leave set 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd have to be back in the office at 8. It was like, what the hell? So yeah, I don't have that car anymore, but yes, I definitely remember that trial in my life.
I had to bring that up.
That was the cabriolet.
Yes, the cabriolet.
Yes.
You had going out clothes in there. You had ballroom clothes. You even had a bag with some sneakers and Vaseline just in case you had to whoop some ass. I remember that.
I mean, that's a strong possibility. Strong possibility in those days. You know, you never know. You never knew. That's that East Coast. It comes back on you, you know.
Exactly. You get a flashback. So now that we hear a good part of the job, tell us about some of your earlier jobs that you didn't, well, not say that you didn't like, but you were like, I got to do this to get to where I got to go.
Well, you know, there was a time I actually left the business.
Okay.
So, I've had my moments. I would say my first big moment of like really like, oh, you're not the shit, was when Kim Harden fired me on Moesha.
Wow.
That was when I was like, oh, because all of my work, you know, I had worked with Robbie, and that's what, you know, kind of is back then was kind of like everyone had a team.
Right.
So it was hard to work with other casting directors when you come off of working with other casting directors. You know what I'm saying? It's like they feel you're already conditioned. You're already in their routine. It's going to be hard to be able to adjust to their routine. So I, you know, worked with Kim, and I will never forget it. Halfway through the season, I got let go. And it was kind of like a wake-up call, because it was like, oh, I think that I have gotten to that point to where I don't really need to be taking it. Like, I need to be like kind of like delegating it now.
Right.
It's like I was in that, you know, that you know, it's like you don't want to keep on being told, but you know what I'm saying? So it was like I kind of had graduated in my mind. I just hadn't graduated as far as the credits. But shortly after that, it was kind of, you know, like it was that epiphany moment where I got hired with Risa Brandon Garcia, and I worked on Speed 2 and The Flood as a casting assistant. So
you want to know what? I think it's necessary in Hollywood to get fired.
Absolutely.
I think you really have to get fired to give you that push, because it's easy to get comfortable in a little space. You know, you're getting money, everybody knows you got your little car, you know what I mean? And but you don't progress at that point.
No.
I think you have to get fired in order to progress. I think that really gives you that push. Honestly.
I mean, look at you. Look at it. Fast forward. Look who I just worked on. The same person that gave me my learning lesson. Also,
right.
You know, working on One Night in Miami. So it really was just me showing myself. And it was great because me and Kim hadn't worked together until I was at BET. And me and her had connected in early, you know, 2012. And she was like, I'm just so proud of you. Like, you really did this. Like, you took it and did it. And I had quit for 6 years before I went and worked at BET. I worked for BBC America. I was like, I need to switch gears. Maybe I need to, you know, when I moved to New York, I was like, nobody really knows me. I gotta start from the bottom. So I went reality lane, that's really not my lane, but I was like, let me just learn the production end. So I ended up being an office manager for 6 years for BBC America, and then they were going to LA. That's when Dancing with the Stars came, and I set that office up, and they were like, do you want to go to LA? And I was like, no, I want to stay here. Like, I'm like, the whole point of me moving to New York was to make it happen. And then now I like really like structured myself now to be asked back to LA. No.
Right.
So I stayed, and then, you know, I went, you know, and it was like, nobody's hiring me. So I started working for a commercial real estate company, like one of the top commercial real estate companies in New York City. And I got comfortable.
Wow.
And I didn't like it.
Wow.
And I am now working for myself.
That's amazing. And you want to know what's funny? From me being a barber, I quit the industry for a while, and I went to work at a bank, believe it or not, Bank of America.
I believe it. I mean, it can do, this business it can be really grueling. You know, there's a lot of people in the lane, as everybody's trying to. It's like crabs in a barrel. And you're going to get swallowed up, or you're going to climb your way out.
Right.
So it's like I climbed my way out. I needed to clear a vision. So I had to step back.
It did give me a clearer vision when I left. Yeah, it did.
This is what I really want to do, and this is my passion. And I realized that I wasn't happy working in commercial real estate. I was like drowning. Like, I'm like, this is the worst lane that I was when I was figuring out. So it was like I shift gears, and I made a promise to myself that I was not going to look back. So I have just been full steam ahead.
And see, what people don't really understand about this Hollywood hustle is there's no pension. There's no, 401k.
No, none of that. Working for a network. And if you're like like myself, I don't work for a network. I'm an independent
Right.
contractor. I'm my own corporation. So I'm working for me. So I have
Right.
to put my own 401k. So it's like you don't have that. In casting directors, we don't have unions. We don't have
Exactly.
protection of the Writers Guild or the Directors Guild. So we really just are really out here solo. And it's like I've been kind of amazed by that. And it's been like a lot of conversation about that recently. It's like how casting can be the most crucial part of a project and has no protection, like no unions, no awards, no nothing.
Right.
Like we don't
Exactly.
get acknowledged for any, like all the movies that you see, they get those, Golden Globes and those Emmys and those Oscars. They had to start somewhere. You had to get a cast.
Right.
We don't even.
And you guys, listen.
Production designer, wardrobe, everybody else gets acknowledgement, but the casting.
And look, one
people that acknowledge it.
This is one earring said, and no Oscar. And she took the words right out of my mouth. He or she took the words right out of my mouth. I'm gonna be honest, like I really feel like this movie deserves an Oscar, at least an Oscar nod. And the reason why
I really do.
No,
I don't
it does.
People that understand the significance of what she did being a director, taking something that is a one-room stage project that is for years. This is not just something that's just happened. It's been in London, it's been in LA, it's been in New York. This play is
it's a screen. Yeah, it was actually a play, right? A stage play.
It was originally a play. This is Kim's fictional story of what he feels happened that night. Nobody knows what happened that one night in Miami, but the 4 people that were in that room. So this is their fictional, bringing it to life of what we could imagine happened in that room. So that's where, for her to be able to bring that vision to the big screen is a major, accomplishment. And to see that, when you're reading it, you've seen it as a play, you're reading it as a play. So it's like, how can I get a vision of seeing this? And this has always been a one stage, performance. And she brought it. And I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure it brought a lot of people to tears, but it just was a special place for me because being a part of it and part of the whole process and the auditioning and the coaching and just really wanting to root for everyone to be the best that they could in this project, it just really came to fruition. And it's a nice little, pattern.
It was crazy. It was crazy because I was sitting at home and I just put the kids to sleep and it literally just got released on Amazon. So I was like, oh, Black actors, let me check this out. Regina King directed. All right, let's see what's going on. I fell in love with this movie. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm not just telling you that. I fell in love with this movie. I watched it 4 times before I even knew that you had anything to do with it. And here's the reason why. It was kind of unknown actors, but they were so good. It seemed like they worked together for a really long time together. Like it seemed like they were just banded together as brothers to get this out, but they also portrayed the characters in a way that was really believable. And I read you guys took a real gamble with the casting.
These guys worked above and beyond for their performance. I mean, when they embodied, they really took on the persona of their roles.
Yes.
Like Leslie Odom Jr., I mean, everyone knows him from Hamilton. He's got a name,
King's got a name. He was amazing.
They're all working actors. Aldous had just came off of Brian Banks when we got. These are all like very, workable actors. Eli Gorey was considered, I guess you could say, our new introduction, but he was on Riverdale. But I saw that. I watched Riverdale, and I was like, Kim, you got to bring him in. You got to bring him in. I'm telling you, he looks like him. I swear. If we work with him, I think he could really get this. And that boy worked. He came in and coached with Kim, he was ready to take it on. He really took on that challenge. And to be with around the seasoned of actors that he was around, he gelled right on in. And I just tell you, the chemistry was amazing. I mean,
it was amazing.
That's why process it was the process that we took for it because Regina had a vision and she knew what she wanted and she wasn't going to take any shorts.
No, it was amazing. And I read that you guys took a real gamble with the casting because you didn't just give the parts out to, you know, Hollywood elite actors, which she could have done very easily because everybody knows her.
We saw literally Hollywood elite actors come in our door and audition for her. If they weren't auditioning for her, they were sending their self-tape. Like Aldis was in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Put himself on tape for that. Kingsley was in New York. Like Leslie Odom was in New York. Like I flew back to New York and did the chemistry read for Kingsley and Leslie before we actually hired them. Like that
was amazing. And that, I mean, I looked at that like, wow.
Literally came in about 4 times.
And Eli, he was very good with the Muhammad Ali role. And the reason why is because the way he played it, he physically looked the part. Pause, you know, he physically looked the part. But I thought one thing he did very well, he tackled Muhammad Ali's accent very well. He didn't overdo it because that's something that you can fall into trying to.
Right now, people really realize that movie is Cassius Clay's introduction into Muhammad Ali. That's the reason why
exactly
Cassius Clay. We do not put him as Muhammad Ali already because that was him getting, you know, his out. He was coming out to the world, you know, after that fight that he was going to be Muhammad Ali, and he really studied him. I mean, everything that man did, down to interviews, everything. Like he would come in acting like him. He didn't come in and just sit. Like he came in being like.
He came in Muhammad Ali.
Came in as Cassius.
Well, actually, Cassius. I'm sorry, Cassius.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what was brilliant because the way he, like, we always see or saw Muhammad Ali as the young guy that kind of knew it all. You know, we really believed but he played him as a young, not confused, but a young man who was trying to find out who he was. We never saw that before.
I mean,
that's what I found amazing.
He was the baby of the crew, actually. If you know, when you go back to that time, he was the baby of the crew. And so he was like a sponge. He was taking on all that advice. So that's when you have that moment where he's like, you're not about to be with the nation anymore. Like he felt like a little dupes.
Yeah.
You know? And so it was just like, I'm following behind you, and you don't even know where you're going. So that was like a turning moment for him and his growth. And now I have to be a man and step out on my own faith. I'm not being a follower. Now I'm following a movement. I'm not following a person. And that was like his coming of age moment.
And I think one of the lines that he said in there, and it really struck with me when he portrayed it, he just said, I mean, I'm great, but I think I'm great. But I was like, you never heard Muhammad Ali unsure of his greatness. The way he brought that across was like, wow.
He just knew. Yes. That's exactly what he definitely was pretty. But yeah, he knew it was already, the cockiness was already there. He had that confidence. It's just, you know, at those times you're dealing with people, all of the elements around you that are making you not or feel that way. And he rose above that and he became Muhammad Ali.
He was amazing in it. Now, what was the first day of shooting like when you got to be with your homegirl? You know, you're on the set. What was that first day on the set?
They shot this in Louisiana, and you know, this is like right at the beginning of the COVID. So I didn't go.
Wow.
I did not go. Yeah.
Wow. So you just did the casting and you stayed home and got you.
Casting and flew back. I flew out to LA to do the casting. I flew back home after we were done.
Got you.
Next project, you know, the casting process, we really, you know, we'll maybe visit the set, but it's like once we're done with casting, it's like we're on to our next project and just can't wait till we see the final project. The process, you know, outcome.
Now, that was amazing.
I like to stay involved.
Now, one of my favorite parts of the movie, it was the roof scene. That part, I love that part. Yes, and so the reason why.
What about that part that you love so much? What was it that you connected with?
Well, I've heard stories about Jim Brown from my cousin because, you know, he used to hang out with Jim Brown. Mm-hmm. And it looked like Jim Brown was kind of like the muscle lead, but you saw 4 brothers who actually loved each other. You saw the conflict right there.
Oh yeah.
And each person brought out their own like it wasn't like one person had a conflict with another person. They all had their own conflicts right there, and it was like a boiling point. And you saw each of them bring the best out of each character in that scene. And that told the story, you know, basically like, you know, Malcolm X's character's like, well, why aren't you doing this? You know, and you know, the Sam Cooke character's like, I'm doing it, but I'm doing it my way. Exactly. You know? I mean, I thought that was amazing.
I loved how she brought that together to where you saw the build of so much of, you know, different lanes that they did have.
Right.
They had their own way of feeling like they were doing something. Jim Brown football, you know, Sam singing, Malcolm X, you know, doing, you know, his you know, being a Muslim and being part of the nation and being a voice. And then Muhammad Ali, you know, being, you know, our fighter, our voice, you know, the greatest of all times kind of. So it's like they all had their own way, but some out of that group might not have known exactly how to tap in on that voice. And I feel like Jim Brown, he had so much going on because, you know, he still was being put in his place in his own hometown. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Person that, you know, is going, you know, praising you and they won't let you walk through his door.
Yeah, that was like, wow.
And challenge that you're even dealing with. And so you having another man try to tell you what you should be doing, that was a problem. But the fact that they could all come together and listen to each other, which needs to be done so badly, is listening to each other, especially our men. I'm not even gonna say black men, just our men, period. Start listening to each other. I think that there would be so much more growth instead of negativity and hate.
No, I agree.
Somebody said,
I agree.
Hey y'all.
I agree.
I guess
I agree with I mean, I really agree. And I also thought that that scene really added to the opening scene, like you said. The opening scene for when you're seeing like Jim Brown driving in his nice car, but he's still a nigga. You know, you see Sam Cooke, you know, he's getting booed, but he's, you know, being made to walk through the back. Exactly. He's still a nigga, you know. No matter what you did at that time, you were still that. And I thought they all captured it very well. You know, the surprise on their face, like me, like I'm this big dude and you still gonna treat me like this. It was like amazing. Amazing. I love that part.
Especially with Jim Brown, though. You saw how stoic he was, though. That was his character. He didn't get big on it because he knew what it was.
Right.
When you like let down that little layer, it's like, oh man, I should have never let down that layer because look what happens. I'm actually, you know, I'm starting to like absorb it of what he's saying to me. It's like, you know, Georgia should be making you, you know, this, you know, the state, you know, all this, and he's just like, oh yeah, you know, yeah. He's like, you need help with that bureau, and it's like, no, nigga.
Nope. No. Yeah. That threw me for a loop. I could not believe that that guy said that. So it was just like, you invited him to your house, but won't let him in your house.
The audition as well, because we needed to have that uncomfortableness in the room to be able to. You got to be able to feel that. You got to be able to understand that. So we definitely, you know, that casting process, we needed to make sure that we got the core scenes in that movie that really mattered as far as their auditions, because if it wasn't believable to us, it wasn't going to be believable to you.
That was amazing. Now that we talked about the men, I want to talk about women for a moment. You know, as we seen, you know, we witnessed a whole bunch of HSBCU graduates delivered this country from that terrible Republican presidency, got us to a democratically led House and Senate. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like now with this COVID situation and how it changed the industry, there's more opportunity for people to get, you know, their own shows and their own branding and people to learn things? Do you think that you're going to see more of an opportunity, more women in all sorts of the business in Hollywood?
Absolutely. I mean, people had to change their whole way of selling themselves, selling their product, selling your projects, period. So it's now opened up another lane for this new wave and we're not getting over this anytime soon. So we're not going back to the normalcy of shooting regular
Right.
shows and going on set and having that contact. It's gonna be a while. Like I hate the fact that my future next projects, I'm everything will be virtually done. And I'm so used to having my team in my room and the energy that we bounce off of each other, and auditions, and really sitting there and working with the actor in the audition to give them that 3 minutes that I need to put you on tape for. And now it's like I got to do it virtually like this. So there's definitely a disconnect, but I have to take my mind out of the disconnect and still act like I'm still present in order for me to fulfill my job. But going back to your question, I definitely feel like there is a lane for that. And as you can see, having 3 women nominated for Best Director and for the Golden Globes, absolutely. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And if you guys subscribe to Deadline, like every single day, you're seeing somebody, Stephanie Elaine Bray, she's, just signed her deal. I mean, everybody's doing something there, and it seems to be a lot more women in power.
And I love that. And I mean, the reason why I love that is because, I've become more aware, I'd say, of the woman's plight, because, once you have a daughter, that totally changes a dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So speaking, I'd like for you to speak to my 8-year-old daughter. Let's say if she wants to be an actress.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you have an acting class.
Yes.
So what steps would you advise her to take to get to where she wants to be?
And being 8 years old, I'm gonna be honest with you. Children under the age of 12, if they haven't started doing this when they were 2 and 3 and getting into that program of it, if they say they want to be an actor today, they might not want to be an actor in 3 months.
Right.
I always say give it to them, like give them the easy light, program. I do kids. I have taught younger kids. I can understand that their attention span is a little bit less, so you have to know how to really keep them entertained, and if they want to do it. I had a class of 25. 2 of them stayed and actually pursued.
Wow.
So I always say, support the dream if they're that young, but don't push them. Don't cheat them of their childhood and just their youthfulness until they are really super duper ready. I have a 14-year-old now that I worked with 2 years
14?
ago.
You got a 14-year-old? No. Oh, I was about to say, I thought you had a 14. I was about to say, what?
No,
Got you.
Now. And she, 2 years ago, I can tell the difference of her from then to now. Now she's very serious. Now I coach her weekly. She's getting it. Before it was just like, I think I just want to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was a joking thing. She laughed, but I didn't push her. And I just said, when you're ready, you'll stop smiling when you do your scene. It's like I had to, let her know that you're not being believable in the way that I need a workable casting director that is still working, not retired, not trying to help people. I'm still actually working while I'm coaching. So you would want to learn from me, because in the same sense, I'm looking at you maybe for my next project. So you might want to take those notes that I'm giving you, because those are fundamentals to helping you for your next role or that next big audition.
Oh, look, we got a good question here. And it's from Darian. What's the one quality you find in actors who later go on to have great careers? That's a good question.
Imagination. I'm going to be honest with you. If you do not have the imagination, the body, and the talk, you're not going to be able to create a character. So if that is not there, you're going to see the same thing. You're not going to really grow. I see the growth in people's careers when they have an imagination and they know how to really not be themselves in a character.
That's amazing. I got my man Big Rod up in here. We grew up together. Thank you for tuning in. So let me tell you, so how can anybody sign up for your classes? Where can they go?
I will be next week. I will be posting it. My official post is going out because I have a few things on my plate right now. So I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm not complaining at all. It's just been a wonderful ride. I have to say 2021 has started off with an amazing bang. So I want to make sure that I can still give my students my time and
Right.
give them some knowledge and not, overwork myself too much too, because there's some things on the horizon for the kids. So.
Well, you want to know what I want to squeeze a little bit out of you. So, what do we expect from you in the near future from you and your company?
Okay, well,
You don't got to give it all away, but I know what you can only give.
A couple little things, just a couple little things. I am my next project. My first independent that I would be casting as a casting director will be Bill Duke will be directing. So,
wow.
Yes, that's happening very soon. In the next couple of weeks.
All right.
So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the smile down, but like literally, I closed my deal less than 24 hours ago. So I'm like super happy about it.
And I'm the first to hear it. I know I am. So woo woo.
By telling the world, yes. And I'm also doing a pilot, which I'm super excited about as well.
Okay.
And my classes. And I just got hired to produce a project on Mr. Duke's network that he's launching at the beginning of the summer.
Yes.
So I will be producing. I'm his casting consultant, but I am also be producing one of the projects on the platform.
That's amazing. And look, I gotta do it. I gotta try. Look, if you need another light-skinned dude, let me know. Because look, I could stand in the back. I could be bad dude number 3. I ain't gotta have no line. Look, I had a serious face. Look.
I got you.
So I could look like bad dude number 3. I could hook you up.
Bad dude number 3. I got you. I see you in the back holding the 40. I got you.
There you go. Just let me hold the 40. You know?
But I just want to say thank you, everyone. I see all the congratulations. I want to say thank you so much. My cousin was on here. I love you guys. My students are on here that are taking my classes. I'm back next month. I'm back this month, you guys. I promise you. You guys are going to get some dates. And I'm back on. And I'm just really glad that I could be, doing what I love. You know what I'm saying? And I love making dreams come true.
That's great. Well, listen, I'm telling you, right now my website is getting built. Every week it's supposed to be complete, and I keep going back to my web design. Like, no, I want this. I'm driving her crazy, but it's okay.
I'm the same way right now because I just launched it, so I understand.
It keeps getting pushed back another week. Right now. Yeah, but I'm letting you know, I'm giving you a place on there forever. Anything you want to promote, anything, believe me, I'll hook you up. Just let me know to send me the links. We're gonna hook that up, but you always got a space on my site for free. I'm not charging you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You are definitely people's. You are definitely people's. Love you to death. And I want to thank you very much for being on. You got anything to say to everybody in closing?
I just want to say, everyone that's tuned in, thank you for tuning in. I'm glad, I can give you guys a little taste of my then and now. And just be on the lookout. Your girl is making some moves in 2021, and I hope that I can moves for y'all too. And just remember, you guys, you're one away. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever give up on your dreams. You're always one away. What's up, Spliff? Oh, and my last, we did get a Spirit Award, and a Spirit Award for One Night in Miami does include the casting director. So Kim Harden, shout out to you, baby. Thank you for letting me be part of the powerful team, because it was one for the books. Absolutely.
No, definitely. So everybody, go check this movie out. It's on. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. One Night in Miami. Great movie. Please go check it out. Support the sisters. But not only, it's not just support. You're really going to enjoy it. You're really going to learn something from it. Yolanda, I want to thank you very much for being on. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you are super busy. I know it's late on the East Coast.
Stay tuned, y'all.
There you go. Stay tuned. All right. Guys.